The number one reason why your ball handling looks amateur in real games is because most players perfect their ball handling in their driveway. They got that ball in a string, but once they get into the real game, they struggle. The reason why they can't translate what they do in practice into a real game is because of one thing, and it's that they simply don't move. Now, in the driveway, they have that ball in a string. Boom, they're pounding the ball. That ball is below their knee. They're moving that basketball, but their body simply doesn't move. We're gonna be looking at 3 things in order to move effectively. It's nice to have good hands, but you're gonna have to get to your spot. You're gonna have to create your shot, basket, playmate. You're gonna have to go from point A to point B and not just stay static. The first thing that we need to move is our feet. Now, our feet create our angles. If I'm a sprinter, I'm not gonna start in a squared stance. As a matter of fact, you've never seen a sprinter start squared. They're in a staggered stance. They're in the stance for maximum acceleration. Squared will slow you down. Staggered will speed you up. Now, as basketball players, we can't be narrow like a sprinter. As basketball players, we have a defender in front of us, and we need to be able to get around our defender. Now, what players make the mistake of doing is when there's no one in front of them, they will drive in a straight line. They will have a narrow base. But when you have this defender in front of you, you're gonna have to be in this drop stance. Notice how I'm still wide, yet staggered. Off the bounce, I want ball side foot to go forward. That way, I can go around this defender. I'm still a threat. I can still, boom, explode. That drop is gonna allow us, boom, to accelerate from 0 to 60 in a drop of a dime. That drop stance is gonna allow us to be a threat. Now it looks like I wanna go and drive. If that defender backs up, boom, I can shoot it. If that defender slides over, boom, I can cross the ball over. My feet create my angles. If I wanted to be a threat to my left, boom, I switch my feet. Now I'm a real threat. Now I can really move my defender. Now I can make them respect me. If I just stay wide, and you hear coaches talk about wide base, I'm not really much of a threat here. Get low, get lower. I'm not a threat to drive here. So fix your feet first and foremost. Number 2 is gonna be our nose. What do you mean move your nose? It's supposed to shift left and right, up and down. Get your nose over your toes. So number 1, we talked about our feet. And if I can get my nose over my toes, now I can begin to shift. Now I'm a real threat to move in that direction. If I just simply land here, not much of a threat. I'm actually not really gonna accelerate much either. If I can get my nose over toes, my defender cuts me off, boom, I can really sell that crossover. Nose over toes, sell that drive, boom, get right to my shot. So simply nose over toes, boom, I can have a quicker first step. That's gonna allow us to sell that a little bit more. Now, getting our nose over toes is a great indicator if our body is shifting. If I were just to stay my nose between my feet, boom, I can move this ball as much as I want to, but I'm not shifty. Nose over toes, boom, great indicator that now my body is moving. If I want to get into my drag, I want to create space. A lot of players make the mistake to drag and just focus on the footwork, when in reality, that's not gonna sell anything. I'm not a threat. I need to get nose over toes, boom. That way I can get the respect of that defender. Nose over toes, now we're talking. Now, third and last thing we wanna be able to move is, first off, we have our feet, that creates our angles. We have nose over toes, that ensures that we shift. And thirdly, what I call the cherry on top is gonna be our eyes. We wanna be able to get our eyes to our angles. My eyes want to match my feet. Now it can really sell. You put that all 3 together, it's gonna be a fine ingredient. Now, players make the mistake of getting their eyes away from their angles. I'll tell players to use their eyes, and a lot of times you'll see this, or you'll see this. It's not very realistic. Eyes to angles, so just above your toes, right? Nose over toes, get your eyes in that same direction. When I want to drive, right, I'm here. So just think about getting ready to drive. go ahead, get into your drop. Get ready to drive. And 3, 2, pause. Right where your eyes are, that's where your eyes should be fixed at. That's the cherry on top. We have our feet, we have our nose over toes, and we have our eyes. This is gonna be the key ingredient to taking your handles to the next level. If I just simply cross over, no feet, no nose over toes, no eyes, look what that looks like. I can get into wide base, I can get low, look what that looks like. But if I use my feet, I get nose over toes, boom, I get eyes to angles, now we're talking. I go through the legs, boom, get my feet involved, get nose over toes, boom, now we're talking. Load, boom, right into it, active feet, boom, nose over toes, eyes to angles, now we're talking here. That's gonna help take your handle to that next level. If you wanna keep leveling up your game each and every week, go ahead and subscribe for more, follow along, and let's go.